And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here as we get ready for our 13th race of the second season of the NNSCRA Hersheys Cup Series. We are here at Richmond International Raceway getting ready for 32 laps of racing. For the first time this season, we have a repeat pole sitter. We have gone 12 races with 12 different pole sitters, but Joshua Circuli becomes the first two-time pole sitter here of Season 2. He held the pole back at Martinsville, and he gets the pole here today at Richmond, looking for his second win of the season. Circuli, of course, trying to get himself into the top 30 in points. His win at Martinsville, if he can get into the top 30 in points, that would count him towards a spot in this season's chase for the championship. That now a chartered ride as well, picking up the charter from Joanna Atwood Motorsports, number 27. And right now, he is 36th in the point standings, which is basically the highest you can be as a non-chartered car. So he's got some work to do here. We'll document him and Kyle Keith in just a moment. Kyle Keith is going to be in this race. He is in as a chartered ride. The charter switching over from the 48 of Sean Galligan to the 42 of Kyle Keith. Galligan made the race on time. So all four of the Sega Motorsports cars are in this race, as we're going to be watching Circuli and Keith continue their quest. They're former winners this season, but they started out as non-chartered cars. They're trying to make their way into the top 30 in points for their wins to count towards a spot in the chase for the championship. Top 10 of the points coming into this race. Brandon Gonzalez took the points lead back last week at Dover. Second is now Zachary Fitzwater. Kyle Matthews still hanging in third. Highest non-winner so far this season. Fourth in points, Cody Lamas. Then it's Levi McIntyre. Last week's winner, James Richardson, is now up to sixth. Grayson Acovito, 7th. 8th, Emmanuel Hartnett. Jessica Shelton, 9th. And Joshua Michaels popped up 4 spots into the top 10 in points last week. Other drivers you can see on the right side of your screen that are in the chase. You got Leon Alvarez. He's 12th in points. Carson Scott, 19th in points. Charles Sanford, two-time winner. Remember, well, let's get a command first.
Drivers, start your engine! Run!
So you remember Charles Sanford a few weeks ago at Talladega. He was trying to keep himself outside or inside the top 30 in the point standings as well. He was trying to get himself some distance. Well, he's 20th in points now. He moved up 7 spots last week in the standings. And then 24th in points is Benjamin Miles. The only two other former winners this season that are outside the top 30 in points already mentioned. Pole sitter Joshua Circuli and Kyle Keith, our winner from Pocono a couple of weeks ago. Now the drivers that Circuli and Keith in the next coming weeks are going to be trying to pass, not only on track but in the points, include Tim Walsh, Sean Galligan, Zach Flickinger, Marty Johnson, who did not make this race. Also, rookie points leader Cole Baker and Trent Dunham. We'll see if they can get the job done or at least take a step towards that here today, as Joshua Circuli and John Gilbert, who's making only his second start of the season, will get us underway. Green flag is out at Richmond. Cat Telly are going to look to the inside, 3 wide for the lead going through turn 2. Trying to make it stick, and will be able to make it stick. Cat Tellier will lead the first lap of the race. See if we can get a better camera angles here. They're 3 wide further back. Davey Johnson, Leon Alvarez, Zachary Stoltz. And we had another change for the lead. John Gilbert. And no trouble, Davey Johnson around in the middle of the pack. Caution will wave right on the front straightaway coming to the start-finish line. The 46 car sideways. And the caution flag is out. There's Davey Johnson. Looks like he got the car rebooted. Drove away from the incident. Don't know if anybody else was involved or not. Oh, dear. Oh, and John Gilbert just ran into the back of Zach Flickinger. Drivers trying to get themselves sorted out here at the tail end of the field. And what is John Gilbert doing? You would think that after the carnage that took place at Martinsville, where Gilbert made his first start, he'd learn, and apparently not. Oh, okay, this is not going to end well. Everybody is just stacked up here. Second place Circuli is being, well, actually he's actually 5th is Circuli. He's being smart. He's just waiting for these drivers to get themselves figured out. Now the problem was the caution came out, and these drivers had not yet crossed the start-finish line. That's why there's such difficulty right now for these drivers to figure out where they're at. Gilbert's the leader, Tellier is second, Henderson's third, and McCurry is fourth. The top four have been able to catch up to the pace car. Everybody else still trying to, but Gilbert just sustained some damage after that. Let's take a look at a replay of what brought out this first caution, though. That was a worse place for a caution flag to come out. That's what's caused all this confusion for these drivers as far as where they're scored. But I don't think anybody should be trapped a lap down. If so, then the scoring monitor really has a problem. So let's take a look and see what happened. First caution of the day at Richmond comes out here very, very early. Davey Johnson had been in a 3-wide situation all the way back from turn 2, and I think maybe Joe Rockingham there got a little help from behind by James Richardson. Sends him up into the 46 of Davey Johnson. Johnson's going to spin in front of the pack. You're going to see, I think, in this shot, the flagman waving the caution flag. These drivers had not crossed the start-finish line yet. As you can see, a lot of them. That's what caused the whole problem with scoring. Contact back there between Ryan Madden and John Arndt. And then just ahead here, watch here, Galligan and Citadino on the high side trying to get through. Chris Dodd not going to give him any room, and he's going to get turned up and into the outside retaining wall right there. And I think it was because of him getting turned around there and everybody's having to slow down again. That's why John Gilbert caught up to the tail end of the field so quickly. So, bit of a stack up there, and Dodd's able to get the thing going, but still, that's what had everybody slowed up in front of the leader, John Gilbert. So that's what put us under the caution. Hopefully they'll get everything settled out by the time we go back green. We'll find out. So we're under caution for the first time today. Trouble up near the front of the field coming out of turn number 4. Well, we've gotten the signal 1 lap to go, but I'm not certain we're going to be going back green. I don't think they've quite gotten it all sorted out yet. We were actually going to go back green 1 lap ago, and then they waved it off. Ryan Madden just now moving by. Cole Baker, Dallas McIntosh. These are drivers all on the tail end of the lead lap. I'm surprised we're actually going green. According to the pace car, we are. John Arndt's on the apron there. I'm not certain what that's all about. So when we go back green, the way they are scored is John Gilbert, Cat Teller, Anthony McCurry, JT Bryant, Trent Dunham. That's the top 5. And it's Brock, Matthews, Richardson, Hartnett, and Srigley. It's been quite amusing watching them get this field put back together. Green flag back out. Someone's got no fuel. Who in the world is that? That's Circuli. The pole sitter, no fuel. What happened to him? Caution's out again, by the way. So that's a thing. Oh, this is a battle for the lead. Something in turn 4 looks like, and the caution flag's out. Michael Norman is the leader. Shelton up there now in the top 5. What the world kind of a start was that? Norman's the leader, they're saying. This is rather bizarre. They are not doing a good job in scoring these drivers and letting them know with enough time of what's going on. Michael Norman is scored the leader, though. Hopefully now things will get settled out, but no fuel on the 47. The 48 of Galligan out of the race, an overheating problem. John Arndt's out of the race as well as Carson Scott and Zachary Stoltz. Henderson is 1 lap down, everybody else in the lead lap, but no fuel and an overheating problem? I don't think we've ever seen that this season. Michael Norman's the leader under this caution, apparently. I don't even know how. Let's go back and look at a replay of what happened. We'll come back and hopefully things will be settled out and a little bit more orderly on this next restart. Well, Ryan Madden had just moved his way by the leaders to get back on the lead lap, and here you can see he caught up to the tail end of the field just as we were going green. And right there, it got the apron. The car snaps around on him. Contact right there with Cole Baker. And look at who else he's going to get. Dallas McIntosh. And right there, his teammate, Kyle Keith, who's trying to make it into the top 30 in the points. So he just basically took his teammate out right there. Don't know how bad the damage is on the Target Chevrolet. And Ryan Madden, as I said, was trying to catch up. And apparently his spotter didn't let him know just how close the tail end of the field was. And that little hurried restart there for Ryan Madden, what brought out the second caution. So that was the second yellow of the day. Let's go back now for the restart and see if we can settle all this out, because a lot of interesting stuff going on here in the very first laps at Richmond. Lights are not yet out atop the Dodge Charger pace car. They should be next time by. I am still very confused as to how Michael Norman is up in the lead and Jessica Shelton is currently scored in 5th. Those two, it almost looked like they jumped the start, but I don't really know what the whole deal was. We don't have radio communications to know what they were being told, and I don't know. It was a mess. It was a mess back there on that restart, and all the events leading up to that restart. Michael Norman is out in front. And second is Kat Tellier. John Gilbert's going to be scored 3rd. 4th, Anthony McCurry. 5th, Jessica Shelton. JT Bryant, 6th. 7th as well, William Brock. 8th will be Richardson. 9th, Trent Dunham. And Kyle Matthews completes the top 10. Two drivers that we were going to be following today that are trying to make it into the top 30 in points. Kyle Keith is right now 34th, still in the tail end of the lead lap. And the pole sitter, Joshua Circulate, no fuel. I'm still very confused about that. No fuel for the 47 car. An overheating problem for Sean Galligan. He had to make it into this race on time because the charter went over to the 42. John Arndt, Carson Scott, two teammates, both of the chances of AS Racing going to victory lane gone, and then Zachary Stoltz, his second start of the season, ends up as a DNF in 42nd. Aaron Henderson's the only lap car in 37th. We will start in the inside line of Michael Norman. Things look a lot more tidy on this restart than they did one restart ago. Green flag back out here at Richmond. Michael Norman trying to pick up his second win of his career and second win in the first half of the season. His only win came last year at Dover, 1 year ago last week. Norman not going to be able to hold off the rookie John Gilbert, though. Gilbert to the inside, trying to take the spot. He led that lap, and he will clear Michael Norman for the lead. Anthony McCurry, power move to the inside line, 3 wide. Will get by both Norman and Kat Tellier. He has thoughts about the lead himself as the defending champion. Here he comes, sliding to the inside. Maybe a little bit of contact there between himself and John Gilbert. Trying to move him up the racetrack as they are side by side for the lead. The rookie in the Chevrolet, the veteran champion in the Audi A5 will move to the top position, Anthony McCurry. We documented in knockout qualifying, this is his home track. And McCurry would love to be able to win here in front of his home crowd. William Brock now slips into second place in the 15. Whoa, look out! John Gilbert, big run out of turn 2, looking for second place now off of Brock. Brock trying to kind of carry the William Brock Motorsports flag here now as his teammates have run into trouble. Pole sitter Circulate out of the race. And Davey Johnson getting wrecked in the beginning stages of this race. John Gilbert now back to the top spot. William Brock to second. Here comes that 11 car, James Richardson, our winner from Dover. He has been moving his way up in points. He's finally found victory lane, and he's trying to pick up his second win of the season now. Brandon Gonzalez, who took the points lead back last week. Contact between Kyle Matthews and Michael Norman back there. That was a battle, I think, for the 8th position. Somehow Matthews hung on to it. Great save. But Brandon Gonzalez took the points lead back last week and now trying to build on it. And how about Dylan Poteet? Poteet had a great run last week at Dover. We didn't really expect much from him in that race, and all of a sudden he was up there in the top 10. He's following it up with yet another great run. Right now scored in 5th here at Richmond. Kyle Matthews, though, pulled off maybe the save of the race. Contact between himself and Michael Norman off turn 4. He kept it straight. He's still running. We haven't really talked a whole lot. He hasn't gotten a whole lot of TV time since the Daytona 500 win. So, nice to see Kyle Matthews up here running in the 8th position. He's 3rd in points, so it's not like he hasn't had a consistent season still. He's still been running very, very well as they're working their way around the slower car of lap car Aaron Henderson. Meanwhile, up at the front, new leader, James Richardson. But for how long? Kat Tellier, a big run on that bottom line. Man, that inside line, if he can hook it up just right, get to the throttle just right, you can get a big run. John Gilbert almost spun off Dylan Poteet's nose, but he saved it. Holy cow, what a save by the rookie. And Dylan Poteet, you saw him back out of the throttle there. He helped John Gilbert to get that car righted. That nearly was a wreck right up at the front of the field. Close call. Top 7 have broken away, and here comes Poteet, moments after a heart failure. He's going to try and go for the lead, but no, the caution flag is out. The caution waves, and it was with 6 to go. This means, are we going to have ourselves a shootout to finish this race? Looks like a spin on the back straightaway brings us under our 3rd caution. We were just about to come around and get 5 to go in the next 2 laps. Oh man. As if this race couldn't get any more exciting. James Richardson looking for back-to-back victories. He'll be leading us if we get back to green over Poteet, Tellier, McCrory, Gilbert. And that's going to allow 8th, 9th, and 10th, Dunham, Matthews, and Bryant, who had lost touch with the top 7, to get back up here in the hunt too. Emmanuel Hartnett, Leon Alvarez appear to be the ones involved in that caution. Daniel Voiles on pit road along with Flickinger, Kyle Keith, Matt, and Davey Johnson. So it looks like a number of drivers involved in this one. Let's see what happens. Skid marks were on the back straightaway. This could potentially be our final caution of the day, and it sets us up for what could be a doozy of a shootout here at Richmond. Now, so far we've had 3 cautions today. Davey Johnson has been involved in 2 of them. Here they are working by the lap car of Aaron Henderson. Henderson gets the wall and comes down and gets Davey Johnson. Johnson's going to spin around in front of the field. Here comes Emmanuel Hartnett. He's going to have nowhere to go. Tries to get by, but there's just no room. Dallas McIntosh as well, going to clobber the 46. There's Jake Baskinger getting involved in the 59. I don't know if anybody up in this group. There's Joshua Michaels, who just worked his way into the top 10 last week. He gets involved. Oh, Levi McIntyre gets a big chunk of it right there, dooring the 16 of McIntosh, and then these drivers just plowing in. A couple of U.S. Army cars of Flickinger and Madden. Daniel Voiles there, and here comes Kyle Keith, not going to be able to slow down. Cole Baker going to get into Dallas McIntosh there as well. I believe Cody Lamas might have made it through. Quite a miss there. Oh, someone else spun further up here. Oh, look at me, Levi McIntyre. He got the water barrels there at the entrance of pit road. But somebody else spun. Oh, is that Fitzwater? That is Fitzwater. What happened to him? Oh, he just got on the apron there. Almost shades of what happened to Ryan Madden when our second caution came out. Right there, it clips the apron. Car comes back on the racing surface. Tires spin. And Fitzwater slams on the brakes to try and avoid hitting the wall, but backs it into the outside safer barrier there coming off of turn number 4. That apron to racetrack transition, that is very, very slick, as you could clearly see right there. So that's what put us under the caution for the 3rd time here today. Let's find out how many laps we're going to have left in a shootout for the finish here at Richmond. The lights have not yet gone out atop the pace car. When we crossed the line the last time by, it was 4 to go. This time it'll be 3 to go. It looks like we're setting up for what could potentially be a green-white checker. Now, if the caution comes out at any point, we race it back to the line, and the race will end under yellow unless we take the white flag, but then we race it back to the line regardless. James Richardson leading the way. He's already got a win under his belt, so he can kind of go for broke here. Try blocking Dylan Poteet, Cat Tellier, Anthony McCurry, John Gilbert. We'll see what happens here. The lights are out. It will be a green-white checker to finish off here at Richmond. This is going to be exciting. After the incident, we do have more drivers back behind the wall. They will include Dallas McIntosh, Jake Baskinger, and Levi McIntyre. Henderson is 4 laps down in 34th place. Also out of the race, Ryan Madden, Davey Johnson, Daniel Voiles, and Leon Alvarez. 1 lap down is Emmanuel Hartnett. 28 cars on the lead lap. Kyle Keith, the last of those. For the restart, the top 10 is James Richardson, Dylan Poteet, Cat Tellier, Anthony McCurry, John Gilbert. Then it's Brandon Gonzalez, William Brock, Trent Dunham, Kyle Matthews, and JT Bryant. 3 of the top 10 have won so far this season. Green flag is out. Here we go. Green-white checkered at Richmond. We saw some moves being made in the middle stages of this race. We'll see if in the closing stages moves will be made. Here comes Poteet for the lead. They just need to make it back to the white flag. That's all they've got to do. Poteet sliding on by James Richardson for the lead. They'll see the white flag. We are going to race it back to the checkers no matter what. Can Poteet hang on? Richardson there in second. He's going to try and challenge, but here comes John Gilbert with a big run out of 2. Who makes the move? Will it be Richardson? Will it be Gilbert? Here comes Richardson. Looking to the bottom. Gilbert looking 3 wide, but they can't get to Poteet. He'll win at Richmond. Boy, Richardson tried, but Poteet was able to hang on, get the runoff of 4, and Dylan Poteet will capture his first win of his Hersheys Cup Series career here today at Richmond International Raceway. First win for Dylan Poteet, second career win for Tweenix Racing, as Trent Dunham had a victory last season. But Dylan Poteet, now the big question is, where's Poteet going to be in all of this in the point standings? Because this could put him in potential spot for a slot in the chase for the championship. Wow. That was a pretty exciting finish. I thought they were going to be 3 wide coming to the line there, quite honestly, between himself, Richardson, and Gilbert. But Richardson and Gilbert just could not get the run off of turn 4 like Poteet did. And they had to settle it amongst themselves for second place. So Dylan Poteet gets the win. Richardson, a great follow-up finish to his win last week at Dover, is second place for him. John Gilbert ran well in his debut race back at Martinsville, second start of the season, and it's a third place finish for him. That team, I'll tell you what, when they make the race, they capitalize on it. Brandon Gonzalez, points leader, will remain points leader with a 4th place finish. The good finishes continue for the Mitsubishi Lancer team. And the defending champion, Anthony McCurry, will get 5th place here today at his home track. Trent Dunham, there's a team that really needed a good run. They've been really hurting in the last couple of races. 6th place for him. William Brock led a few laps. He gets 7th. Cat Tellier in 8th. Kyle Matthews, after that save, gets 9th. How about James Qualls? We never talked about that 70 car all day, and he'll get 10th. Young Motorsports teammates, Dylan Young, JT Bryant, 11th and 12th. Benjamin Miles, great run for him in 13th. Wrigley, 14th. And Joe Rockingham will finish the day out in the 15th position. Let's take a look on down through the remainder of the finishing results. Officially finishing the race in 27th was Kyle Keith. So didn't really make the most of his charter. He did finish ahead of Cole Baker. The only other cars that he basically had to finish ahead of that were ahead of him in the points. Of course, Marty Johnson not making the race, and the only other car that he really finished ahead of was Sean Galligan, out of the race with an overheating problem. So not really going to gain a lot in the point standings is Kyle Keith, at least in this race. 28 cars finished on the lead lap. 30 cars finished. Madden, Johnson, Voiles, Alvarez, McIntosh, Baskinger, McIntyre, Circuli, Arndt, Galligan, Scott, and Stoltz all out of the race. Of course, Circuli had that great run last week. Didn't follow it up this week with a good run. The pole sitter, no fuel. I really would love to know what that means, as he'll finish out of the race in 38th position. So, should be a very interesting point shakeup, no doubt, from about 4th on down. Kyle Matthews, I think, may take second in the point standings over now after that 9th place run. Brandon Gonzalez obviously going to be the points leader, but it'll be interesting to see where other drivers that came into this race running well in the points but didn't exactly finish that well in this race. It'll be interesting to see if they're still going to be in the top 10 in the point standings. But Dylan Poteet now goes to victory lane for the first time in his Hersheys Cup Series career, and now puts his name in the list of drivers trying to make their way into this season's chase for the championship. The chase for the championship will be the next points-paying race you'll see. Next, though, we head to Charlotte Motor Speedway as we'll get ready for All-Star Race Weekend, the Sprint Showdown and the Sprint Cup and the Sprint All-Star Race, or the Hersheys Cup Series All-Star Race, whichever you want to call it, will be coming up next. That'll be a very interesting race where we'll be having no points on the line, but pride, bragging rights, and a big $1 million check on the line. So anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll show you full finishing results once again on down through 42nd. Dylan Poteet, your winner here today at Richmond. We'll now show you your full rookie points as well as your overall points heading into next week, which will be the All-Star race, and then after that, the Coca-Cola 600, the next point-paying race, beginning the chase for the championship in the Hersheys Cup Series. You've been watching a production of NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best. We'll see you guys next time.